wherever you're watching OGTV. This is Roundtable on the People's Tele. We are here again for another interesting episode of the program, and this is going to be the last in the month of January. Yes, just recently we greeted ourselves Happy New Year, and of course it's rolling on. We are at the end of the first month in the year 2026. So I'm welcoming you to another interesting episode of Roundtable. You know what we do on this program? Little or no introduction is needed to tell you what Roundtable stands for. Yes, we'll bring guests, we'll talk about topical issues of national and international interest, and of course local interest. Today we're talking about something critical, and we're not going far, beyond the state. We're talking about something that concerns us as a state. The policies of government as it affects the people is what we're looking at today on the program. And I am not alone. Like my co-presenter is also in the studio. But before I, put Joyisola to you to say good morning, let me introduce our guest in the studio today, as we shall be looking at building rights law and implementation in Ogun State. Yes, let me not forget to also introduce myself. My name is Morenikeji Shobaloju, and my guest in the studio today is the Acting General Manager, Ogun State Planning and Development Permit Authority. We're talking about Samplana Itunu Jolaoluwa. Good morning, Samplana Itunu.
Good morning, madam.
Nice having you. Yes, I will bring Joyisola Ogunbadewa. We will be having this conversation together in another 1 hour on the show today. To greet you, good morning, Joyisola. Good morning to you.
Morning, Morenikeji. But you know something? When you have a camp planner in the studio, you will know that it is time to set some things in the right place. Making crooked ways straight. You know what that means? It means that if you have been doing something in an improper way, the planners will help you to set them in the proper way. And that is why we are having the topic about the laws regarding building in Ogun State today. So if you want to know either you're built rightly or not, you just watch the show to the end, because I am sure that our guest is right here to put us through. Back to you, Morenikeji.
Thank you so much, Joyisola, for that beautiful one. And like you said, in the past in Ogun State, there are times we used to have a government that there's this quote that the ministry used to talk about, and that is build right, demolish left. That means, yes, it's a beautiful slogan, really. It's as beautiful as it sounds. It's actually saying in full explanation that if you're building, you consider some laws guiding, the rules guiding building, and they say where there are no laws, there are no sins. So if you understand the laws guiding what you do, then you will not fall a victim of punishment or whatever it is that will come after you did not build rightly. So today I want to open the conversation. Samplana Itunu, like you said behind this thing, that you're fully ready for us. So we are also ready to fire you with a shot this morning. So let's quickly begin. Thank you for joining us in the conversation this morning once more. So let me ask you in a very clear explanation and for layman understanding, building right, the laws and implementation. Let's not talk about implementation now, but the laws of building right. What is it? What explanation do you want to give us on the program today?
Okay, thank you so much, the producer and the co-presenter. It's my pleasure to be in your midst this morning to represent the Honorable Commissioner, Ministry of Physical Planning and Urban Development, that is Samplana Olatunji Odunlami, SNITP, HFINOB. And it's a pleasure to run us through the laws guiding development in the state. The first thing I want us to know is that Ogun State is so blessed, because talking about laws and regulations guiding development, Ogun State has a law and 5 regulations. Ogun State Urban and Regional Planning and Development Law 2022 and 5 regulations. The 5 regulations I will mention to you
Ogun State Planning and Development Permit Regulation 2022, Ogun State Outdoor Furniture Regulation 2022,
Okay.
Ogun State Building Production Management Regulation 2022. We also have Ogun State Land Subdivision and Layout 2022, and we have Ogun State Slum Regeneration Regulation 2022. I doubt if we have any state in Nigeria that has all this law and regulations. So I said Ogun State is so blessed. And like you said earlier, the presenter, that where there is no law, there is no sin. We have law in Ogun State, guys, and development, and so there must be sin since there is law. The first part I want everybody to have at the back of their mind is what the law says. That is Section 29, subsection 1 of Ogun State Urban and Regional Planning and Development Law 2022. It says the planning permit of the permit authority shall be required for any physical development in the state.
Okay.
For any physical development in the state. Let's start from there. Any physical development. Now we're saying any physical development. Then, before I go to what development is, let's see Section 30, subsection 1 of the same law says a developer or owner, whether public or private, underlining, whether public or private, that is, whether private or government, shall apply for a planning permit according to this law.
Okay.
So that means planning permits must be obtained by all and sundry. So when we're now saying for all development, then what is development? You know, so many people believe that development is only when you want to build 3 floors, 4 floors. So let's look at it together. What is development? Development means the carrying out of any building, engineering, mining, or other operations on, in, under, over any land. And this includes renovation, alteration, it includes repair or addition to any building or structure. That is just one. 2, development means making of any material change. Any material change in the use of any land or building or structure. That is 2. 3, development can also be illustrated to mean conversion of any land, building or structure from its existing or approved use. You know, you'll find out that the more we are having urbanization, you have some developments that are being converted from the original or the existing use, being converted to another use, just to make sure that it conforms to the present situation.
In fact, you've even taken us far, beyond talking about the building laws that we are talking about. You've come to, break it down and tell us and make us understand the laws. But talking about, marking some structures illegal, saying that some structures are illegal, they are not well structured, or maybe they are not placed appropriate. What do you consider before you can say the structure is illegal? That's number one. Then when you now look at your own personal assessment of Ogun State, the current state of development, urban development and construction compliance in Ogun State, what would be your own assessment, talking about the state, the Ogun State of ours? We've had you going out with several activities, bringing down some structures. I won't say destroying now, bringing down some structures that you were considered illegal. So talking about the assessment of the compliance and talking about you considering some structures illegal, what do you what do you put what do you?
I would have loved that.
Yes, what do you consider to say the structures are illegal? Let's answer that question. Let's answer that first so that we will
when we talk of illegal development, number one, according to what the law says, if you want to consider a development and say this is legal, then number one, that development must have obtained planning permit. Because before the issuance of the planning permit, all necessary conditions and statutory things must have, you understand, must have been met. So you can consider such as legal. So whichever development doesn't have the planning permit is considered illegal. Okay, that is one. Now, even if after obtaining the permit, if you now build contrary to the permit that you obtained, it's no more legal.
So the approval,
yes. You know, for example, you got an approval to build 2-bedroom flats, and you got to site, you change it to a warehouse or shop. It's not the same thing. You have gone contrary, you have been contrary to what was approved. So you can consider that as legal. You understand? So then there are some developments that are built at the locations where they're not supposed to be built. For example, you cannot build along the floodplain. You know, some will not even come for planning permit at all, but they will go ahead and build. You get what I'm saying? So you can't consider that as a legal development. You cannot build under power lines. It's for our own safety. If you have seen where this power line had issues in time past, that you have a power line coming down, falling on the structure, falling on killing people, destroying lives and property. You understand? You will not want your enemy to have anything to do with power line. And yes, you have some structures built within the setback of the power line or even directly under the power line. So definitely you consider those developments as illegal developments. Another thing is that in recent times we've been talking about the structures within right of way. You have some structures within the right of way, the road right of way or road setback. You have some within the setback of pipe gas lines. You have seen the issue with gas explosion in time past that we have experienced in the state. You know it's not a good thing. But you have some developments within the setback of the gas pipeline and even road setback. You see that I think from November last year we've been clearing shanties, structures within the 70-meter setback of Lagos Ibadan Expressway and even Abeokuta Shagamu Highway. So those are the structures you consider illegal, and you cannot continue to look at them because this is a state that has the law and the regulations. So we are working with the law and the regulation, and there is sanction for every developmental offense.
Okay, I've had a case before now that some people will come and say that they already put the structure there, and government is there to say no, this is a legal structure and we have to bring it down. And their claim is always that we have taken the necessary, documentation. We were given this permit to build. All the papers have been, settled with government. So how come government is coming now to say, the structure is illegal? So let me make it this simple. If someone wants to build, you want to explain to us, I want to build now. I have my land, or do I have to get to government before I can actually acquire the land? Explain to us, what do you think people should do? How do they go about, getting it right in terms of, building in Ogun State? Some would say that I have the permission of government to build this structure, and the same government will come that you are building illegally, and this will be, brought down all of a sudden. So where is the missing link? How do you explain better on this one?
Okay, thank you. It's not possible for you to obtain permit. You have obtained the permit correctly, without any false information, not with any fraudulent activity, and it is not that you hide some information at the time you are obtaining the permit. I don't think the same government that has given you permit will now say, but you know, when people, if you don't have the facts of any issue, the person that shouts most is people will hear. Yes, that's what people will hear until you hear from the authority. When we talk of development in the state, in Ogun State, we have law, we have regulations. The very first thing I think everyone needs to do, even before you buy the land, confirm. We have Bureau of Lands and Survey. Confirm this land that you are buying, is it government land? Is it within government acquisition? Or is it a free land? I think that is not too much for one to do, since you count the cost of how much you are spending on the development. You understand what I'm saying? I think one needs to get some information to confirm about the land, because you have so many people that will tell you, this land was released 20-something without any document. Okay, without documents. Sorry. But if you have already gotten your land and you're very sure that, okay, this land is free from any known acquisition, free from litigation, you understand? The next thing for you to do is to submit your application. What's your proposal? Your proposed development needed to be submitted to the Ogun State Planning and Development Permit Authority. And what are those documents that you needed to submit with it? Let me first state this. We have two types of applications. We have simple applications and we have special applications. When we talk of simple application, we're talking about development that is not more than 3 floors. That is ground, first, and second. Not more than 3 floors, or that the size of the land is not more than 5,000 square meters. That is simple application. But when we talk of special application, we're talking about application that is more than 3 floors. We talk of barn, we talk of hotels, we talk of guest house. You know, we talk of development that are in the recreational park. We talk of the ones that are for hospital, for public use. We talk of schools. For those ones, they have to follow 2 stages. The first stage is the phase where you obtain the land use clearance, and the second stage is where you obtain the final planning permit. Now let me start with simple application. When we talk of the simple application, you know, I've told you that these are applications that are not more than 3 floors. Residential. Okay. Not residential. All you needed to submit for your planning permit is 1, your title document. Okay. You must be able to give us something for us to know that truly you are the owner. If you buy it from a family, then you will have at least a document from the family which will be duly stamped duty with Ogun State Internal Revenue Services to register it that yes, this is my land, I bought it from this family. At least the signature of the family head or whatever will be in that whether purchase receipt or agreement. At least you give us a photocopy of the title document. Then survey plan that shows that the name on that title document is the same name as the survey. Yes, on the survey. Then you will give us your proposed development in plan. Okay. That is architectural plan. You give us I want to build 2-bedroom flats. This is how I want it to look like in accordance with the regulation. That is, the airspaces, the setback that you have to maintain should be maintained in the plan. Then you will give us your current tax clearance for us to know that you are a taxpayer. Then you submit to any of our offices. In Ogun State, we have 32 zonal planning offices where we can submit our simple application.
Okay. Oh, okay. I have given you and Murenike the floor. In fact, you've been talking for about 20 minutes or thereabout, just both of you on the program. I'm going to see you later, you Murenike. Okay, I know that she has a lot of questions, a lot of things that she wants you to clarify. That's why she is been coming up with a lot of questions. But when you were talking at the beginning of the program, you mentioned something that Ogun State has some laws that are not common in some of the states.
Okay.
So I want to know why that is so, because even if you look at some other states in maybe physical the geographical location, more than Ogun State, and they don't have these laws. So why is it that Ogun State has so much laws?
Thank you. I think you need to get it right.
Okay.
I didn't say Ogun State has laws that other states did not have. But I said Ogun State is blessed because in the 36 states of the Federation,
okay,
you
have
cannot
laws for that. Okay.
You can pinpoint the states that has law and regulations guiding development.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying
okay,
now?
Yes. Now I got back. Talking about the permits that you're talking about, you said if it is residential, maybe you have a permit for 2-bedroom, and maybe you now change your mind to a warehouse, you change your planning and the rest. Now, what if I have a permit for a 2-bedroom flat and I just discovered that my land can give me 4-bedroom?
Good.
What am I to do?
Yes, all you need to do is to come back. You know what you have obtained is 2-bedroom. It's for your own good.
Okay.
Because if you have 4-bedroom flat and the documents you are holding says 2-bedroom, it can only be quantified as 2-bedroom.
Okay.
For example, let's say you want to sell it. You want to sell it to me now, and you give me a document of 2-bedroom, and you are saying I should pay for 4-bedroom. It's not possible. So the best thing you can do for yourself is to come back to the office.
To come and change the tenant.
I want to have additional 2-bedroom. Propose additional and amendments to the approved plan that I've gotten before.
Okay. So if you have the permit for 4-bedroom and you eventually build 2-bedroom, what would you do?
It's still the same thing. Because
so you keep that until you have the 4-bedroom, or you come back for the 2-bedroom.
It's either way. You know, it's possible that maybe for now you want that 2-bedroom and you continue. Some people will tell you that that is where they can, for now, that is where the resources, not that you will maintain it as 2-bedroom.
Okay.
You understand? Because it is the document that stands as what you will tender legally.
Okay, which one is safer? For me to have the approval for 4-bedroom and maybe do a 2-bedroom, decide to do whatever later, and or have the 2-bedroom, build a 4-bedroom flat and come back. Which one?
The safest is to build whatsoever you
have the permit.
You got the permit for.
Okay,
and sorry, before you continue, if you want to add additional to that 2-bedroom that you've gotten, not that you just go ahead and add it on site. You will come back. Because it is possible that it is not approvable. To you it might be approvable, but according to the regulation and the law, it might not be approvable. So you have to come back first, get the explanation. Okay, if you want to add additional 2 floors, this is what you need, 2 bedrooms. This is what you need to do. This is what, it cannot take more than 1. You understand? Instead of you to just go ahead, it's possible that you go ahead and do it, and you have already encroached into the headspace or the setback.
Okay, how long does the process of a permit take?
Thank you. These are one of this question is very vital because in this administration, this is one of the areas which the ministry and the agency has achieved a lot, because in time past, people complain of my application spend 3 months, 4 months before I could, but since 2019, since the inception of this administration, and with the Honorable Commissioner, who is also a town planner, all the activities of obtaining planning permits have been streamlined. So, the extent that we now have timely issuance of permits. For residential, you have 7 days. Subject to the submission of all your documents. You know, I've listed some of those documents that you need to submit. If you can submit all
at once,
7 days, you should get your permit.
Okay, talking about...
And for commercial, 14 days.
Town planner is to know Jolalua.
Thank you.
Yes, so for the benefit of our people watching, you know, you begin by explaining the simple permit, that is the rules, yes, residential with a simple permit. And you're about to talk about the other permit that contains, you know, other commercial development before the installer broke in. So I want you to, you know, at a point, I want to take you back because people are watching for the benefit of those who are building for commercial. You've, you know, spoken about the residential. So I want you to go ahead and enlighten people. They want to know. That's number one before we now proceed to the implementation proper. You know, we've been talking about laws. Let's look at the implementation thereafter. Okay, let's go.
Thank you. The second type of application is the special application. And like I told us earlier, special applications has to do with non-residential or residential that is above 3 floors. Then you have commercial buildings, you have store warehouses, you have hospitals, all sorts. But
the procedure
for this, like I said, are in 2 phases.
Okay.
The first stage is the procurement of land use clearance.
Okay.
You know, we have ministry, and under this ministry we have 3 agencies. The ministry is the policy maker.
Okay.
The policy maker, while the agencies are implementing the policy. So you obtain the land use clearance from the ministry. So far the land that you want to use for that proposal is not within any scheme. If it is within any scheme, the scheme must have specified that the use of that land is maybe for commercial, maybe for industrial, maybe for recreation.
Okay.
But in case that you have a land that doesn't specify that, then you need to apply for land use clearance.
Okay.
Then the application goes to the ministry, to the permanent secretary, and for that you needed all that has been listed earlier. But in addition, you need to write the physical planning analysis report. The physical planning analysis report is a report that will tell us the advantages of that proposal, of that development.
That is exactly where I'm going. Is this procedure not making it so cumbersome for, you know, for people? You know, you have to go through this, you have to write this, and some people will be asking questions. Report again. Do you have your officers helping out? Maybe giving them a template that, okay, I am the one coming to the office, to government. I have a commercial, you know, proposal for my recreation center, and you're coming with all of this lineup of documentations, writing letters, reports, and all of that. You know, it becomes cumbersome. What will you say to the semi-literate who will not be able to? So, are you making provision for them? Are you supporting them? Are you giving templates to make it easier? You have said that this administration is kind of making it easier for people to get their documents on time.
Yes.
So, with all of these things, is it not going to, you know, make them go through a lot of stress achieving it?
Not at all.
Okay.
We have checklists for all our applications. We have checklists. Even if it's to any of our 32 zonal planning offices, you have the checklist for the simple and for the special application.
Oh, good.
You have the checklist that you can see at a glance that these are all the requirements I needed. These are all the documents I needed to submit. And apart from that, all these listed documents are just listed. It's not that about 10 people will have to work on. No.
Okay.
The list for the application for the commercial, the major work there, aside your own personal document that you have to submit, is done by a registered town planner.
Okay, now let's talk about the cost that comes with all these applications and the rest. Really, the procedure may be short, for within a particular time, a week, 2 weeks, that's fine. But what about the cost? Because some people will want to boycott the processes if the cost is too much.
Yeah, the financial implication.
That's the implication. Now, let's talk about the financial implication.
Thank you. Talking about the financial implication, you know, in Nigeria of today, there is nothing that we will do without money. And I want to tell you, sorry if I quote the Bible, it says that, who is that man that wants to build that will not first count the cost? Let me tell you, it is costlier and more expensive to go through the back door or trying to be smart, because at the end of the day, you waste a lot. But to professionals, yes, you spend more. All the what we're talking about is that your architectural plans should be prepared by an architect.
A registered architect.
An architect, not just anybody. Because at the end of the day, if you give it to a quack, and at the end of the day you have issues, is a problem. But if you give it to the professional, the registered professional, your architect, your plan to the architect, your structural plan in case your development is upstairs, to engineer, a registered engineer, the engineer that knows that you have that he or she has professional ethics will not mess up. But to anybody that is that doesn't have a rope that you can use to pull the person that yes, this is from this institute. You understand? You can waste your money. But let me tell you, it is not expensive.
When it comes to
it is not expensive to do the right thing. It is costlier and more expensive
when you cut corners.
When you cut corners.
Generally speaking, town planner is dollar lower, because our time is fast spent, so we want to begin to keep assessment now. Talking about compliance, when you look at the Ogun State in general, what do you think? What's your assessment? Are they complying?
Are they complying with all this?
We did say we have a 50-50. We did say that considering the fact that the state is putting out laws, the state is making sure that things are done in the right way, and we did say to an extent we have 60-60, 50-50, or we have 100/100 talking about compliance of people.
Oh well,
because I know the answer. Go ahead. I wanted to say something first. I might not be able to quantify it in figures, but I can tell you we are better than where we're coming from. I can say that categorically, that we are better off. The compliance is better. People are getting more exposure. People are getting more knowledge because we're having stakeholders engagement, media attention. Thank you. So if we're talking about the percentage, I might not be able to talk about the figure, but I can tell you we are better. I know I said something earlier that I have the answer. If you had said 100, I would say because Jolalu has been political about it and said, well, we are improving. That is the answer to the question. Because I know that when you're dealing with people, it becomes a bit difficult. Some people will still get approval and still go ahead and do something different from what has been approved to them. So let's quickly talk about implementation now. One thing is having laws, then another thing is enforcing them. So how well are these build right laws being enforced across Ogun State? Talking about the enforcement now.
Oh yes, thank you. Talking about the enforcement, what we have been doing is one. The first thing is to let people know. Let people know. We always go for sensitization, enlightenment program, go to community development associations, meet with them, meet with organizations, meet with bodies, like bodies that are, for example, those that are in oil and gas, just to make them acquainted with the law and regulations. You know, it's possible to have a law, but if you don't let people know, you can't just go out and start the enforcement. So we make sure we're having enlightenment programs, sensitization, going from senatorial district to senatorial district, going to communities. Then, aside that, you know, when you have already allowed the people to know what is there, you can now say, if you do anything wrong,
this is what we call
this is a punishment.
This is a punishment. So there are also been sanctioning. You would have seen some of our sanctioning exercises, which will serve as deterrent to others.
Yeah, well, let's talk about bringing our structures. Yes, doing so like you will do that. Yes, if you're just tuning in your television station to OGTV, the program is Roundtable, and you can also be part of the conversation. The full lines are on your screen already. So put your calls through to us, and then Tamplana Jolaluwa is here, you know, standing to give you answers to all the questions you might be having in your mind to ask. So put the call in, and then we'll be ready to answer. So doing so.
Okay. Now let's talk about the major challenges you face in enforcing the laws and in also carrying out the sanctions on maybe those that fall that flout the law.
Okay. Well, it has not been easy, but God has been faithful because you know, human beings, we are you know,
they're very simple to deal with.
We are very simple to deal with.
Very simple.
Very simple. You know, in the course of enforcement, sanctioning, you face all sort of you have all sort of engagements. We've seen cases where some of our officers are mobbed, beaten to pulp. You know, that we need to rush them to the hospital. We've seen cases where, you know, some people believe that you're working for some family, some Omonile family.
You understand? My land, I can do whatever
you understand?
I want.
Some people believe that I bought this land, I paid for it, you cannot dictate what happens over this land. Forgetting that all land belongs to
the government.
The government. In the course of enforcement, we face challenges like all sort of attack. All sort of attack where, you know, at times people will block the road, that you will not leave this community. You, despite having security personnel with us at times, because, you know, we always try as much as possible to let people know that we are not fighting with you. You know, so we will calm even the security personnel so that there wouldn't be altercations. But I can tell you, between 2022 and 2025, it has reduced drastically.
Good.
Because we have more enlightenment.
People now understand.
Yeah, people now understand that we are working for government too. And if you obstruct, we have in our law that if you obstruct the officer, you obstruct government official, you are liable. It's either you go to prison or you pay fine. So we've had cases that we took some people to court over that. Yes.
Okay, thank you. I'm actually conscious of time. Let's talk about safety, investment, and development. You know, we've often hear in the news, we see stories of building collapse here and there. And how do these laws help prevent such, you know, tragedies in Ogun State? Because we've, sincerely speaking, we've not had a building collapse that much in Ogun State. Recently, it has reduced. That's number one. Number two, beyond safety, how do you also make sure that this build rights law actually protects people's investment? People are actually putting a lot, and you come and say, okay, because of this, we are bringing it down and no solution, and that is it. Are you also not thinking about the property, the value? Are you missing at a point with the owner of this, you know, considering their investment, the people, you know, considering their investment? How do you handle this? How do these build rights laws protect these people's investment?
Okay, thank you. I can tell you that demolition is the very last option. The very last option. Even when we were serving notices, demolition is the last notice that any development will get, because that is the last option. Before a development will be pulled down, go and get the facts. It's either it is structurally unstable, the structural instability, or it is built within government acquisition. You know, it's very rare that it's because of permits alone that the development will go down. No, we have what we call can I call it amnesty? That is, if you have, there is an offense already that you built without getting approval, but you can apply that I have built. The only thing we will do for you is that you will pay penal fee. So far, yes, you have pardon. So far, the development is approvable or condonable. Not that you do not obtain permit, bring it down. No.
Don't work like that.
We have grace for regularization. You can regularize.
Okay, you see have some human face.
Yes. No. We have grace for regularization.
Already you can still be pardoned.
By God.
So far it is
approvable
or
condonable. Okay. And it is not where it is not supposed to be.
Of course, not under power lines like you said.
And some will go and build on the
waterways, with slum areas.
And water will be running after them.
Okay, Samplana Jolalua, looking ahead, as Ogun State continues to grow, you know, the population gets increases every day, and you know, people are actually building. Are there plans to? We have ruled out the laws of 2022, like 6 of them that you've ruled out here. Are there plans to actually expand this building laws in the future? Because this is 2022. God willing, are you also planning to have a template that going forward, the future will be this and it's going to look like this, because we are growing, the state is growing?
Yes, that's a very good question. I can tell you.
No, you answer that. We have Ade from London and we do not want to keep our caller. Okay. Good morning, Ade. Nice having you. Hello, Ade. Good morning. Ade is calling us from London. Hello, Ade. Good morning. Please, you can make your contributions if you can hear us, please. Okay, Samplana, maybe if we're able to get that, we would just...
Okay, thank you. Concerning the question that looking into the future, I can tell you the law and the regulation of 2022 is already being reviewed. We have started the review. It has gone to the Ogun State House of Assembly. Because when we talk of a law, it must not be rigid, and it must be and we have to review. So we have started the review to capture the present and the future. At least we have looked into what we have seen in the last 3 years of the 2 years of the.
I think Ade is here now.
Okay.
Good morning, Ade.
Good morning.
Yes, clearly, Ade. Good morning. Thank you for calling. Ade, we are finding it so hard to hear your question, and it seems not clear enough. I don't know, maybe the network is we're having an issue. Really just try again and call us back. Maybe we can be lucky that time, please. Thank you. Yes, your explanation. We do not have much time to go, and it is of course already the time for us to go on the show. Painfully, we were unable to hear Ade's contribution, but I know to an extent Samplana Idunulu has been able to do justice to some of our questions here in the studio, and it is just kind of optimistic that the state can only get better. We can only continue to channel our conversation towards the right direction and ask for a better state. Thank you, Town Planner Idunoluwa, for being part of the conversation this morning, and we are quite appreciate your input today on the show. Yes, from us here, that's going to be the size of the program. It's a building law that we're talking about. You've heard little that you need to know for your own, benefits. So you need the clear understanding of how to build and the laws to follow. Until next week for another interesting episode. My name is Morenikeji Shobaleju. I'm from Doing Solar.
Thank you for being part of today's show. Next week will be another time. Just make sure you do what is right with your property so that you will not flout the law and your house or whatever you did on it won't be demolished. So next week, just be a good ambassador of Ogun.